this event. We want to host it the first week back in January. It's January 19th, I believe. We haven't set a theme or anything yet. We want our partner who we collaborate with to have an input on the theme and food vendors and all of that we set up. So we haven't published any of that yet. So that's kind of where we're at now. We just kind of want to gauge your input.
Is that date January 19th? Is that for sure set?
No, that's not set. That's just kind of where we're gauging it right now.
Any other questions?
But the event is for sure happening.
Yes, look, we don't have to have collaboration to make it happen. We would just like it so we know that. So because we have collaboration, more than likely, whatever organization we collaborate with, we know that they'll be there, and then student organizations and stuff like that. So we don't have to have collaboration to happen to make this event happen. We just would like it as far as marketing and to make more people want to come.
Do you all have a venue picked out? Do you know?
We don't have a venue. We're definitely going to do it on campus. We're looking right now at the Ornelas Activity Center or maybe potentially the ballroom, just kind of depending on once we send another, like we're going to do another Qualtrics survey to see who wants to come. And once we have a better idea of numbers, we will finalize the venue. But we're looking at the Ornelas Activity Center right now.
Would you be wanting SGA to commit any kind of funds to that, or is that completely funded by CAP?
We would, I mean, if we would like to do potentially with like marketing funding it or something like that, but like I said, we don't have to have funding. We would ideally the partnering organization would commit some sort of funding, but that's not really a deciding factor of collaboration. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.
We also have Sean Rogers here to speak.
Why, hello, former compatriots. Long time no see. I am Sean Rogers. If you don't know me, I'm a student veteran here at UT Tyler. I'm now the student advisor for the organization. I have a really exciting news for you guys. The Student Veterans of America National Headquarters sent me and Chris Cox, who is the Veterans Resource Center coordinator, a letter addressed to you guys. Joshua Neves and President Templeman already had this letter. The letter states that the Student Veterans of America National Office is inviting you, the SGA members, to our national conference in January. It'll be from the 4th of January to the 6th or 7th of January. So it's going to be from Wednesday to Sunday. It's going to be held in San Antonio, Texas. Woo! This is our 10th year. The national office is doing this for 10 years now. What it is, yeah, the SGA and the SVA kind of needs to work together. One of the reasons why I was a senator is because of the lack, when he was a senator, a lack of communication between student veterans and the Student Government Association. Now that I'm going to graduate in December, kind of hard to find another student veteran to take my place. So this partnership could benefit both parties. There'll be networking opportunity. There's going to be a big campus where you can do job interviews, resume build. A lot of big corporations are going to be there. Google, Amazon, Accenture, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, BP. We're talking the big guys. So if you're going to graduate, you can bring your resume and some business cards. If you're interested in going, please let me know so we can talk about costs. I'm not going to ask for money. I'm not asking for SGA support with this. I'm just letting you know you're invited to come. And I'm your meal ticket to get there. Also, Veterans Week will be November 6th through the 10th. If you are interested in collaborating with the student veterans on events during that week or co-sponsor with another group, just let me know as well. We will be setting up a committee. I don't know when the committee starts. I believe We have our first meeting September 28th at 4. So if you're interested in helping the SVO do Vet Week, also get with me later. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
Now for officer reports. As many of y'all know, this week has been held a lot of events for the inauguration of Dr. Tidwell. I'm sure y'all seen that in all of the parking and a lot of busy schedule. I've been staying busy with all of that this week. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of good people here for the campus, and we'll see what starts to change over the next few months as far as his really getting into his office and actually starting to hit the ground running this year. I also had some meetings with some other people as far as like marketing. The new vice president for the marketing, his name's Lucas Roebuck. He's a really great guy. He's asked to come and speak to all of us concerning the revamp brand that we talked about last week. So he'll be coming later on. I still got to schedule which meeting it is that he wants to go to. And that's really all I have for the week.
Hi everyone. I hope everyone's having a good week. I've been working really hard trying to get people into committees, but there was some issues with us. You guys were great in filling out the doodle. That was really helpful. And we kind of figured out we don't have enough people available on Thursdays, which is when all of us tried to schedule our meetings. However, I do have 5 people selected for SGAC because they need to start meeting as soon as possible. There's already requests. These people are Lindsay Bell. I didn't write down people's first names. I'm so sorry. Senator Florek, Mackenzie Parrish, Harry Dukes, and Madison Job. So Thursdays at 12. And what room do you have?
The Student Life and Leadership Conference Room.
Okay, the conference room is Student Life and Leadership. Got
Which
it.
is UC 3408.
Yes. And those will start tomorrow. There's already requests. Everyone else, listen, would you please? We're going to try something different. We're going to try and work around y'all's schedules. Sign up for a committee that interests you. And once it's full, go on to the next committee or something that is open. And the committee chair will be contacting you. If you're one of those people I said is an SGAC, please don't sign up. That makes things more confusing. And we'll try and work around y'all's schedules because working around our schedules didn't coordinate very well. I'm very sorry to be confusing you guys and doing this, but it seems to be like this is going to be the best way to make that happen. The only other thing I have is Constitution Day, September 18th. It's next Monday. It's a big deal. The Harvey deck from 12 to 2. We'll be doing Constitution trivia and giving out popsicles. I believe we will all be getting T-shirts from Dean of Students' office. They ordered a bunch of T-shirts. She said she'll be distributing them to SGA. Excuse me. I didn't hear this. Also, I think there's a website. Encourage your friends to go visit it. Dr. McTry will be sending it out to faculty and staff. Hopefully they'll show it in their classrooms. We may be able to get that email out to all the students. If they take a quiz, they'll be entered into a drawing for some prizes. There'll be lots of giveaways for that. Me and DOS, we've worked really hard on this event. It's a really important day, and I hope everyone can be a part of that. Last thing, September 20th, it's our next meeting. We will have a training session after the meeting, so we'll try and keep that meeting kind of short, and we will do a training session afterwards. We will be getting dinner from McAllister's. That'll be an event just for senators, so when the meeting's over, we'll close the doors, we'll do our stuff, we'll eat. I will tomorrow or Friday be sending out the McAllister's menu. Please respond if you're going to be there with what you want me to order for you. If you have a special allergy or if you're vegan, vegetarian, that kind of things. Also, please let me know so I can tell them and they'll make sure to take care of you. I know that was a lot. I'm really sorry. Are there any questions? Yes.
You'll send out an email reminder about all of this.
Of course. Of course. It's all on your agenda. It's on the calendar. It's on the website, and I will send out an email. If not tomorrow, then Friday.
Any other questions? Secretary McDaniel.
Hey guys, thank you for the patience on the Zoom. Still trying to get it down. It was the computer's fault, not mine. Just saying. The only thing I want to talk about, and Parliamentarian Higgins is going to go over it more in her ops report, but absence policies. So if you know you're going to be absent on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock, please go and email me an absence form. We prefer to have it within like 48 hours of the meeting so that we can kind of talk about it and approve it. And if it's like work or class related, whatever, just please attach like a work schedule and your school schedule to it. If it's like an emergency and you're on the way to the hospital, I understand. Just you don't have to worry about that. If it's a family emergency, stuff like that, just like a quick email to let me know, just so that I have a heads up. But other than that, that's all I have. Any questions about that? Nope. Cool.
Treasurer report.
Well, I don't have much to talk about in this section, but I want to remind everyone that's in my committee, my first meeting will be tomorrow, and I will be emailing everyone in my committee later tonight. And that's all I got to say right now.
Parliamentarian Higgins.
Okay. Y'all thought Savannah had a lot. You just wait. Okay, I'm gonna do the short things first and then I'll do the long things. But so rules committee, I don't know where the sign up sheet is, but if you are available Thursdays, the next 2 Thursdays, not including tomorrow, the 2 after that, from 12 to 1, please sign up for rules committee because. And my committee is going to be kind of different. I reserve these Thursdays because that's what works best for me those weeks, but my committee meetings will probably move to Mondays. So just keep that in mind if you are signing up for the rules committee. Because once golf season is over, well, even during golf season, Mondays are my only days off, so it's just easiest to work around. So the 21st and the 28th are going to be my first 2 committee meetings, and they're going to be in UC 3140 from 12 to 1. And then elections are tomorrow and Friday. I sent out a message on Canvas about them and the election tables. So please, if you can make it either tomorrow or Friday between 11 and 2 to the UC, please come help us with that table. It's really important because we get students there and we help them vote. I mean, it's super trivial to you guys, but it's really important that we get people and have a higher voter turnout. And then the other 2 things that I'm going to go over are going to be the bylaws and the dress code and the absence policy. And I was going to put it up there, but the computer's broken, so I'm just going to read it. So just bear with me. I'll do the dress code first because it's a little shorter. Obviously, y'all know business casual attire to all official meetings of the Student Senate and or sanctioned or sponsored events of SGA, of course, unless we say otherwise. SGA sponsored T-shirts will be worn for every event deemed casual by the executive officers. Dress code excludes meetings of SGA standing committees, caucus meetings, advisory council meetings, retreats, and office hours, basically. Dress code is as follows. Men, polo or button-down, collared shirt, slacks with a belt, shirt must be tucked in, dress shoes or boots, blue jeans or shorts will be disallowed at General Assembly and or sanctioned or sponsored events of SGA. Women, dress tops, skirts, dress pants, long dresses with flats or heels, sweatpants, leggings, long shorts or shorts will be disallowed at General Assembly and or sanctioned or sponsored events of SGA. So for every 3 incidents that the dress code is not followed, you will get 1 absence. So if you miss GA, that's an absence. If you can mess up the dress code 3 times before you get 1 absence. I'm going to go over that next. So the absence policy, I'm just going to hit like the main things. Obviously, as senators, you do have to meet in person at SGA meetings, committee meetings, and all mandatory events. That's going to be things like midnight breakfast. What else is mandatory? I don't know. Help me out.
Any event that we do.
Okay, anything that we say is mandatory. Absences related to a member being a participant in an official university-sponsored event are excused, as long as the member has turned in an absence form to the secretary at least 48 hours before the excused absence. Each senator and officer will be allotted 2 unexcused absences and 10 excused absences, with the number of accrued absences to be reset at the beginning of each semester. Upon approval of the 3rd unexcused absence and 11th excused absence, parliamentarians will order the judicial board to convene, and the member in question shall be required to appear for review. This isn't something that we really did a lot last semester, at least, and we're going to be on top of it. So, we can't afford to be missing quorum, not making quorum. So it's going to be something that we're really going to be hard on. So if you guys are going to be, if you know you're going to be missing, do fill out the absence form. But if you know you're going to be missing a lot, then your seat in the Senate might be something that you're going to want to reevaluate, because we are going to need everyone here. Even if you are excused, you still don't count towards our quorum. So if you know you're going to be missing a lot, then we want to figure out another way that you can be involved and not be making us miss quorum. Because like I said, we have a lot of things to do. Following deliberations, the judicial board will either 1, grant an additional absence, 2, excuse the previous absence, or 3, dismiss the senator or officer from their position. If the member knows in advance that he or she will be absent from an SGA meeting, committee meeting, or mandatory event, the official SGA absence form must be turned in to the secretary a minimum of 48 hours prior to the absence via email or in person. For those of you who don't know, the absence forms are available on the website, correct? I believe. Yeah, I think they should be. If not, we will make it happen. And yeah, so that's for everything. If that's GA, that's your committee meeting, and any mandatory events. You have to fill out an absence form for all of them. And then, like Abby said, if it's for a class or work schedule, just attach a copy of that to your absence form. If members must leave a meeting, committee meeting, or mandatory event early for any reason, the secretary must be informed prior to the meeting. Member arriving at General Assembly after roll call is dispensed shall be counted as tardy, which is equivalent to an absence. So if you come in after we've already taken roll call, that's an absence. A member must miss a committee meeting. The secretary must be informed in advance of the meeting. If a member fails to inform the chair or presiding officer before the beginning of the meeting, he or she shall be counted as absent. So you need to let Abby know, and you need to let whoever is the chair of that committee know. If a senator has a conflict with General Assembly meeting time, a special request can be asked of the executive board to virtually attend the meeting. Each request will be reviewed by the executive board. If the circumstances are strenuous enough to warrant an exception, it will be granted. Otherwise, the senator will be required to abide by the rules and procedures outlined in this absence policy. Obviously, that doesn't apply to our satellite campus senators because they can Zoom in, but that was just something that we put in there so that if someone wants to be a senator and for whatever reason, like I don't know, can't physically be here, we as an executive board have the ability to determine if they can Zoom in and still be counted towards quorum. Other stuff is our discretion if we want to request additional information concerning an absence. So just be aware of that. The notification must be presented in written form and shall include any information requested by the executive board as well as the information the member considers relevant. The absence form shall be reconsidered during the next regularly scheduled executive board meeting, and if the member has provided the information requested. If the member fails to provide the information with a specific time period, the member shall be counted as absent. So pretty much just turn in the absence form and do it 48 hours in advance and just come to everything. I mean, because we don't like you to be absent, because we like to see your smiling faces. So,
Does studying warrant an excused absence? If I put studying on my absence form, is that going to get
that is
approved?
something that the executive board would review.
It will get denied.
Which is okay.
That's been the trend.
All right, that is all I have. Oh, sorry, you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So is GA going to be every Wednesday from this point on? So what's the doodle about?
The doodle is for the committee meetings.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions?
thanks for bearing with me through that.
I know that's a lot to handle in between all of us going over all of that. It's just kind of taking care of business for the beginning of the semester. That will die down less, and we'll be handling more issues later on and stuff like new business in more upcoming weeks. As far as student voice reports, I know they didn't get put on here. I'm going to take the initiative on that and start and assign next week's. I would like for College of Business and Technology, the College of Nursing, and Cornellis Hall to be the first people up, and then we will assign the next week and put that in the agenda. That way we can start doing those. And for the committee report section, since none of them have met, we covered a lot of that in our officer reports. We're just going to go ahead and go to old business. A lot of these on here that you see on the agenda are mostly just going to be us providing updates. And so feel free to ask any questions that you want to about that. And so at this point, I would like to entertain a motion to open up discussion on the swoop issue.
Motion to open up discussion on the swoop issue.
Second.
All of those in favor of opening discussion over swoop?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
I will start out by saying that I did cover this earlier, but Lucas Roebuck, our VP for marketing, has expressed interest in coming to present to y'all the actual story of what's going on. His office is the one that's charged with the full process. And so ultimately, I still believe it's Dr. Tidwell's decision, but he has given that charge to Lucas's office. And so he has expressed interest in coming to speak to us, and we are setting up that day in emails right now. So, and when I feel it would be appropriate for us to let him give his speech on it and figure out exactly what's going on, hear his opinion, let him know ours. I think that's probably the best way to handle it. Are there any questions or comments?
How long has he been around and working at the university?
He was just hired at the beginning of this year. Senator Freshour.
Do we want to have a survey sent out to students before we meet with him, or do we want to wait till we hear from him?
Vice President Seeley.
It's in my opinion about the survey that we should wait till after we hear from him so that our survey can include both sides. I understand the consensus of our Senate is that we would like to keep swoop, but I don't think it's fair to students to send out a survey that only addresses our opinions, but I wouldn't know what to put on the other side of that argument without hearing from Dr. Tidwell or Mr. Roebuck.
Senator Bill.
I just wanted to add to that. I completely agree. It's hard to oppose change when you don't know what the change is. So I do go for more information.
Senator Johnson.
I'd like to propose a motion to take the discussion till
Roebuck.
Roebuck come speak to us.
All those in favor of tabling this discussion until after Vice President Roebuck has given his prepared statement?
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Motion's passed. Can I get a motion to open discussion on the food pantry? Senator Johnson.
Motion to discuss food pantry.
All those in favor of opening discussion over the food pantry, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstentions? The current status of the food pantry is that we all remember, for those of you who are new, one of our senators named Paul Ross presented a project out of the Senator Project line to purchase around $2,000 worth of supplies for a university food pantry. Those supplies have been purchased and have arrived at the university. We are still waiting on the Space Committee to approve a designated area. And once that has happened, those supplies will be housed there and everything will start to be getting set up. After that point, we will probably need to have a discussion over making sure that the supplies that we purchased and helped install are being used in a manner that we feel appropriate, and to see if we need to have any additional oversight into or volunteer or however we want to handle it as far as how that gets done. Senator Fresho.
I have more clarification on this. Like, what is food pantry?
The university will be providing a food pantry, which allows students who need help to receive additional food, as far as mostly probably just canned goods, anything that doesn't really have like a short shelf life. I know we've looked at partnerships with East Texas Food Bank as well as other people. So this is just something the university has been wanting to do for a while. It came as a direct request from the Dean of Students office, and we've gone over it last year. And right now, the only thing that SGA has contributed was this supplies. So that's all we've agreed to set up for just now. Senator Dukes.
Who is going to be running the food pantry?
That would be the Dean of Students office, as far as I know, unless it becomes its own entity and has its own person. Senator Morrison.
Is there any idea how we're going to provide proof of need for the students?
The idea was that there will not need to be any proof of need. It's going to be open to anyone who wants to use it.
Just students or
Students.
Okay.
Vice President Seeley.
Who can we contact from the space committee in order to encourage them to meet so that this space is found?
The space committee does have several members on it. I can get the full list of people. Right now, I think your best point of contact would be our Dean of Students, Ona Tolliver. She is the one that's really spearheading this project and is also a member of the space committee, so she's advocating for it, I'm sure. We'll just see what she says about it. Senator Nagaraju.
Motion to end discussion on the food pantry.
All of those who approve of ending discussion on the food pantry, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Next item is daycare. Senator Bell.
Motion to open up discussion regarding.
All of those in favor of discussing daycare on campus, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
I'm going to call for division, which means we'll need to have a raise of hands. So we'll restart that. I still look good. All those who approve? All those opposed? And abstentions.
Thank you.
All right, that motion still passes. All right. As far as daycare, it's another issue that's being upheld by the space committee as well as some other people, because there are issues with insurance as well as other things due to childcare just rules, and we're trying to be as safe and as legal as possible. I will be having several meetings with Ona Tolliver to discuss what is going on there, and that's another issue that we had addressed last semester and brought up and voted to approve and endorse. Parliamentarian.
I was gonna ask if we did that, because I don't remember if we actually, because I remember we did the survey. We did the survey and I think we got some information presented to us about it, but I don't remember if we actually did endorse it. We did.
We did endorse the proposal that was taken to Faculty Senate and at the time to Dr. Mabry. And it sort of snowballed from there. And our stamp of approval and our information from the survey has always been attached to that sort of initiative that is going through campus and going through administration currently.
So what is the next step that this Senate needs to take? If a provision, or if a, whatever it's called, what's the word?
Endorsement.
No, if like a, not a bill, proposal was already presented to Faculty Senate and it was already passed, I'm assuming, and then we endorsed the Faculty Senate's proposal, does that work? So what's the next step for us? What can we do to continue that?
Really, at this point, it's almost out of our hands. We've done pretty much our due diligence, but if it does get caught up and held up, it may be something that we need to reestablish that we supported this and that we have documentation of it.
So at what point do we know, or is it caught up enough for us to do something?
That would be something that I would have to report at a later date.
Motion to end discussion over daycare.
All those opposed, ending discussion over daycare? All those who approve of ending discussion over daycare?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Last issue in our old business was the bike racks. Can I get a motion? Senator Nunn.
Motion to open discussion on the bike rack. Second.
All those who approve of opening discussion for bike racks, say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions?
Aye.
We gave around $2,000 and coordinated with the pharmacy school to get this accomplished. And the money has been given over to facilities, and they are in the process of installing these. The reason why this was included is I just wanted to say that this was one of our better Senator projects. Senator Bell and at the time Senator McLeod worked on this. That's one of the things that we can get accomplished. They're actually going to use this as the foundational framework for any future installations of bike racks. Facilities were very happy with the way things went, and so was the pharmacy school. So that's why I felt it was important enough to put on the agenda to go over that. SGA is completely done with that issue now, and just wanted to say good job. Senator Johnson.
Second.
All those who approve ending discussion over bike racks, please say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? New business. Or, sorry, yeah. Any other old business? None. Can I get a motion to open up discussion over judicial board appointments?
Motion to open discussion of judicial board appointments.
Second.
All those who approve opening discussion over judicial board appointments? Any who oppose? Any abstentions? It is my job as president to appoint members of the judicial board. And they're supposed to serve a certain amount of terms, and we appoint in consecutive terms. That way it's kind of staggered. However, we had a lot of people who graduated or resigned that position. And so there, at this point, there's only one remaining member of the judicial board. And so it's come to me to appoint 4 new members. The people who I would like to present to y'all for approval are Carly Duran, Andrew Miller, Sean Rogers, and Natasha Cabusio. We're not going to have them come and speak in front of y'all because that has just been kind of standard precedent with judicial board that they're kind of be an entity that is separate from the body. They're a different branch, and they're supposed to also be impartial. So that's why they're not here to present on behalf of themselves for that issue. And so as far as the process goes, we would have to approve each individual person unless motion is stated otherwise. Parliamentary.
Motion to approve Andrew Miller for the judicial board.
Second.
All those who approve of voting on Andrew Miller's confirmation to the judicial board.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Sorry. All right, now we've voted to vote on his confirmation. So all who approve, all those who approve Andrew Miller, please say aye.
Aye.
Any of those who oppose? Any abstentions? Vice President Seeley?
I just have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, two of those names are very unfamiliar to me, and so I mean, even the ones who are familiar, I don't know why you chose them. Can we talk about quickly the criteria? Because certainly not everyone in this room knows everyone on that
Sure.
list. So just quickly talk about the criteria you used for determining these appointments.
These were people that I sought out who I knew would be involved and would be present. There are also people who are active in other areas of campus. And so it was, there's nothing that's done by age, major. It was solely who showed interest and who was willing to participate. But some of these people wanted to be senators, but couldn't make the time as far as the scheduled time frame on Wednesdays. So a lot of that has to do with they showed that they wanted to participate in SGA, couldn't be a part of the Senate, and so this was a way for them to be involved. And so that is kind of how I selected these people. I can give a quick bio, but I don't think we need to do that. So, Vice President Seeley.
I feel like that was pretty standard. And motion to approve the appointment of Sean Rogers to the judicial board.
Just to clarify, the way that motion stated is we do not have to vote twice. So this is his actual vote. So all those in favor of approving Sean Rogers to the judicial board?
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Senator Frischauer.
Oh, shoot, they seconded it.
Yeah.
They need to amend the motion. She said executive board member.
Yeah, you did say executive board.
So,
Sorry. So we just need to just vote now, right?
Yeah. So if we will, for House rules, vote no on this one, please, just because we can't actually, we don't have the authority
We
to
can't
appoint
do
her
that.
to the executive.
and in order to prevent this in the future, after someone makes a motion, collectively pause in case someone needs to amend said motion and then second. We're really good at seconding things, guys. But then, this one, I know it's one of those first meetings. We haven't had a training session. Really sorry, this is kind of confusing. But the motion's already been seconded, so we have to vote. And we should all vote no.
At this point, all who approve of the motion, please say aye. All those who oppose?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Senator Frischauer.
Second. Yes.
All of those in favor of approving Carly Duran to the judicial board, please say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Secretary McNeil.
Motion to approve Natasha Cabusio to the judicial board.
All of those in favor of approving Natasha Capuzio to the judicial board, please say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions?
Aye.
She's a good girl.
All right. That is it for judicial board appointments.
Motion to close discussion on judicial board appointments.
All of those in favor of ending discussion over the judicial board?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Yes.
Can you have a motion, like, since the, if we made that motion, it's
Vice President Seeley?
Motion to open discussion over student affairs committee.
All of those in favor of opening discussion over the student affairs committee?
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Another duty as mine as president that has to be approved by all is the creation of ad hoc committees. Student affairs has been one of our more important committees as far as getting out legislation and surveys. We've used it to do that in the past, but it's always been ad hoc. We've never officially added it to the standing committee section. And so at this point, I would like to ask the Senate to approve the creation of the Student Affairs Committee as an ad hoc committee for the year under the chairmanship of Senator Freshour. Senator Morrison.
Motion to vote on the addition of the Student Affairs Committee to this list of standing committees.
Yeah, that's a motion to amend the motion? Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, it sounded weird coming out of my mouth. Amend the motion to approve the creation of the ad hoc committee, student affairs, under the chairmanship of Sarah Freshour.
Does everyone understand how the motion was amended?
Point of information, what we are doing is we are reinstating student affairs as an ad hoc committee, because in order to make it a standing committee, we have to change it in rules committee. So that's maybe something that we will do then, but we are just reinstating it, and we are nominating Senator Freshour to be the chairperson.
Okay. Yeah, that's just quick.
All of those who approve of the creation of the ad hoc committee under the chairmanship of Senator Freshour, please say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Vice President Seeley.
Motion to open discussion on event parking. Oh, shoot, we didn't close. No,
No, we didn't.
I'm sorry. No one seconded my motion.
Right.
Yeah.
You
It was second.
it was-
So we have to say
Okay.
no. Sorry, everyone. I got excited.
All those who approve? All those who oppose?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Parliamentarian Higgins.
Motion to close discussion for the student affairs committee.
Second.
All those in favor of closing discussion over student affairs, please say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Senator Nagaraj.
Motion to open discussion on event parking.
Second.
All of those in favor of opening discussion over event parking?
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Vice President Seeley.
So I wanted to put this on the agenda because with the inauguration week events, It's kind of been brought to my attention that students are not being notified when parking lots on campus are being shut down for events. Not only this, but the job fairs and career fairs is what they're called. Sorry, things like events at the Cowan Center. That students are not being notified, and that is an issue of time and distance for parking. Yes, there's parking around campus, but students are not able to coordinate their travel plans, and so it disrupts their work and class schedules. And so I wanted to bring it up to you guys to sort of brainstorm what we can do about this, or discuss maybe using faculty parking instead of student parking, or figure out who we can talk to about this issue, because firsthand experience, guys, it sucks.
Senator Freshour.
That's something, but obviously that's a good point to bring up. Because I think students have more time to understand, like if they're told 3 days, 2 days in advance of when parking will be blocked off, they can figure out their time routes. Because that obviously seems like a big deal because we have limited parking as it is. And we have a lot of commuters and people who don't live on campus and need to have spots.
Another thing I will add is that the reason why it is not very well communicated is that only certain people and departments have the authority to send out emails to all students due to the legality of having access to all of the emails. And so I was actually notified by Lieutenant Seal of the event parkings, what lots they were going to be, how many spots they were going to be closed off in advance. And he told me that they had posted it on their social media sites to try and broadcast it, but there's obviously not every single student on campus follows the police department. So that's probably something that we would need to take into consideration when we discuss this. Senator Nagaraj.
I guess if the event has a flyer, why don't you just put it underneath the flyer where you can park and where you can't park? So students can know, okay, well, it is near the PHE, okay, I need to park here, or if the PHE parking is just off, okay, where can I park? I can't park in nursing, or can I park RBS or something? I don't know.
Vice President Seeley.
Sort of to answer your question, I think that's a great idea for events that will be closing off parking, because what I gather the issue is not that there is no parking around campus. It's that students don't know that the parking near their building will be closed off. And so then they have to go to another area of campus, and then the travel time to find a parking spot across campus and then walk back to their building is then a concern for class issues, because then they've lost time in class, things of that nature. So the notification system is the issue, not the actual loss of parking space.
Senator Bell.
I was just curious if you had an update on a tentative opening date of said parking garage that might help alleviate some of the stress.
Fall 18th. Secretary McDaniel.
Okay, well first, with the flyer thing, my only concern is I don't even know where flyers are posted half the time, and I don't look at any of these flyers. So I don't know that I would still be updated on that part. If I could only think of something, it's gotta be an email sent to student emails that maybe just says attention, these are gonna be closed on these days. But with what you're saying is, there's still parking around campus. Obviously parking is an issue, always will be until the garage is open. But since that lot is closed, and I know that I have literally gone every single lot on campus, and then I've had to go to the dorms, and I've looked all there, and I've literally just had to drive around until someone went to their car. And so for us to at least get something, I still think it's an issue, even when we are notified, even if there isn't an event. So whatever we can do kind of to get that going would be great, because I definitely have the same issue where I come here thinking that I'm going to be 30 minutes early to class and I'm late. So I don't know.
Senator Dukes.
Is there another way we can do the event parking where students can use parking lots and we're actually going to the event use something else parking lot?
I wouldn't say so. It depends. Vice President.
that question was also posed when I was approached and when I discussed with faculty before bringing it here to you guys. There are some other ideas that have been tossed around by students and the select few faculty I have access to ask these kind of questions in a casual setting, is that it's possible there are faculty parking lots. Faculty currently has a shuttle system to help alleviate some of the parking stress. So encouraging faculty to shuttle more so that the faculty parking lots can be used as event parking is possible. However, it is difficult because faculty do have to be on time to their work as well. And I'm not sure how their notification system is in that aspect. Second is using places like the auxiliary parking lot at a church nearby that's used for shuttling, and the Ornelas Activity Center where people who come for events may park there and then be shuttled to the event on campus. Again, it was just an idea that was brought up as, oh, hey, like, I don't like this. Maybe y'all could talk about doing this. So those are ideas that I've heard from other people that we could discuss as taking those ideas and approaching the people who block off the parking lots. I don't know who that is that blocks off the parking lots. Police department. Maybe approach them with those alternate plans to possibly alleviate some of this stress.
Senator Parrish.
This is just going to getting the word out there about the event parking and where it's going to be congested and stuff. But I think this would be a great addition to each of our app to get people to download it, send out a notification saying what event and where it's going to be and where it's going to be congested. And then at that point, if we did somehow manage to talk to the police to where we could do those alternate routes, they could post that as well, send out notifications. That way people that actually want to know are getting it, and it's not a privacy issue because they downloaded the app.
Senator Freshour.
Who is parking and event parking? So obviously for sporting events, families, friends, that makes sense. Things like a career fair. So the people that are coming and bringing their tables, banking parking, but so who gets to park in that event parking for something like that? Like, is it just those people setting up their tables?
I'll touch on that. For instance, this week, you had the inauguration events. So anyone who was in attendance for the inauguration that was considered either a guest that was on the program, so the Regent's office, Dr. Tidwell's family, the chancellor, any of those people would have had parking. And that parking is reserved for them during that time frame and a little bit before that time frame. So we actually hired a valet company to handle the parking for this week. And so they handled all of that as far as the Alumni House event, but they were given designated spots and designated lots. And those lots have been communicated, at least on social media, by the police department. But that's not getting out to everybody.
Certain things should be able to have both students and the people. If you are a student trying to go to a career fair, why should you not be able to park there as well? I don't know. It just seems you can't afford to just keep closing off entire lots for things like this.
Any other? Vice President Seeley.
Motion to close discussion with student affairs taking over the issue to send our concerns and ideas to the police department.
Second.
All of those in favor of closing discussion and handing over this issue to student affairs?
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? Is there any new business? Any other new business? Senator Morrison.
Is this the time to bring up the interfaith room? Will that be on the agenda next week? Is that old business?
You can bring it up.
Not new business. It's not new.
The old business. Sorry.
Next week.
Any other new business? Vice President Seeley.
Motion to open discussion on the CAB formal presentation / request.
All those in favor of opening discussion over formal presented to us by Kat. All those who oppose? Any abstentions?
Aye.
I think that helping the market, the formal, that's easy. We can definitely do that. But when it comes to the marketing funding that they're looking for, I would like to see exactly what they want to do with it and how much it's going to be. Because like when we're really looking realistically on marketing in the school, it's fine. So I would like to see more detail on that.
Senator Bell.
Do we have like a separate fund, or is that something that they can come to SGA and request money for?
I mean, it's coming from the campus activity board, so I don't.
We are.
You're technically, this is in new business, and since you're not a Senate member, you're not supposed to.
If someone asks him a direct question.
Yeah.
But that's,
Yeah.
you can't answer this one specifically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him. Will it be from the campus activities board?
It will be sponsored and paid for, at least mostly by the campus activity board. And since campus activities is funded by student fees, we can't request funds from SGAC.
Parliamentarian hearing.
So then any funding that we did potentially commit to it would come from which line?
And most likely, we have a lot of money in the large events. It just depends how much we spend over the course of the year by that time. So we'll see by then.
Senator Freshour.
When Andrew presented, did we talk about 40 minutes ago? I forgot. But do we want to send out some kind of survey just to make sure everyone's on? Oh, it's already happened, so never mind. But maybe we can get student feedback on game like this. That way, if we want students to go, so if we ask them kind of what do they want to see there, do they want a dinner, do they want
Senator Bell.
Well, in regards to that, she brings up some good points. I don't necessarily know that we survey for all of that. It's just very detailed. If it's going to be sponsored, my question is there going to be a charge for students to attend this program?
I can speak on that. Since they operate at a student fee, they're not allowed to charge. It's the same thing for us. So, Parliamentarian hearing.
I think before all this discussion is relevant, we need to figure out if, as a Senate, if we want to put our name and our label on it. So if we want to partner with them and we want to collaborate on that, that's what we need to figure out first before we figure out all the dirty details.
Vice President Seaman.
I wanted to touch on what Katie said, because while I am in charge of events as part of my duties as vice president, this is brand new, and I know that we have a set schedule of events that we handle, and I felt that it was more appropriate to have our Senate vote on something new like this, and something that seems like it will be big on campus, despite my personal feelings. Either way towards it, I felt it was more appropriate for you guys to vote on our participation. Does that make sense?
Given that and what Senator Parrish was saying a second ago about wanting more detail on the funding and like the exact request, I'm going to motion to table the discussion until we have said information.
All those who approve tabling the discussion until further financial information is provided.
Aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Any abstentions? It has been tabled. Is there any other new business? Advisor comments?
Okay.
All right. All right, can everybody hear me? Okay. Oh. All right, can everybody hear me?
He's muted.
Y'all hear me, Preston?
He's muted.
That speaker doesn't work. It's not good.
It shows on my screen that he is no longer muted. So
Yeah,
All right, can y'all hear me?
I might have his audio.
I can't hear. Oh.
I might have it. Hey,
Yes.
Was that a yes?
all right, I can hear you now, and I'll do my best to relay your info.
Okay. I think the absence policy, I think that y'all presented was a good one. I like the fact that y'all are trying to provide more flexibility to the senators when they have certain situations that come up, and giving them the opportunity to zoom in is a big, I think, a big improvement.
Okay, let me mention that. I honestly said that he really likes the absence policy and that we're able to be more flexible with the Zoom and the absences. Go ahead.
Okay. I did also appreciate the updates on all the previous projects that you have done, such as the food pantry, daycare, the bike racks. I do agree that y'all should still touch on the interfaith room, but it kind of in the same. It's kind of in the same boat as the food pantry. That we're still waiting on the space committee.
We can hear you, Josh, so you just keep going.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. There was a question that was asked, what could we do to keep, this conversation going as far as like daycare? I think that's when y'all were asking about it. That's for the officers. Y'all need to be the ones to, ask those questions for the administration and then report back to the Senate on that. Now, if it's a controversial topic or something that this SGA disagrees with, or disagrees with the previous group's decision, that always can be brought up for discussion. And then you can resend that endorsement to let administration know that that topic or whatever it is that the previous group did is no longer endorsed by this year's group. I do think that if there's no progress on the daycare, that next year new data will need to be collected to see if that is still an option that faculty, staff, and students are interested in, if they are interested in that type of service. And as far as the parking lots are concerned, I think, the Student Affairs Committee, I think they can look into it. I do think the point of contact for that is going to be the Chief Metters. This is the one who typically sends out the communication to the faculty and staff. But I think the biggest issue is they just need to be able to communicate the closure of that. Now, it was added on the Astor events this year, so that way anytime there is a major event, the police department is doing a better job of keeping a log of that since it is an Astra. They don't approve every request that comes in because they know that the parking lot situation is very sensitive right now, and they're doing their best to make sure that there's as many spots as possible for the students. As far as the shuttle service for faculty and staff, that is no longer an option. They only did that for the first 2 weeks just to help students get acclimated to the campus, know where they're going to park on a regular basis, and then they stopped the shuttle service. And so if it is a major event and the parking lots are going to be closed, I can see that they may provide that transportation either from the church that we used this past 2 weeks or over at the OAC. In regards to the CABS event for the dance and ball, I am worried about attendance. I've been at several institutions now, and the ones that had these types of events, they are very difficult to develop and get students to attend. And so, but if the students are truly interested about this, then that's not a problem. And so I think going out and asking other students if they're interested in this type of event and then going after it. I think that's important to have that data because if we're going to spend a lot of money on that kind of event, we want to make sure that students are going to show up. It's one thing if it was a tradition, that's easy to keep that going, but starting it from scratch in this generation can be difficult. This one is for more in-house. All of you senators should now be in Canvas. We're still making improvements to Canvas and organizing it a little bit better. So be patient with us as we are still learning the ins and outs of Canvas. All the major documents should be on Canvas and should be on the website. If it is not on the website, please let me know so I can get that fixed. Are there any questions for me?
I think we're good, Josh.
All right.
I'm going to read this for announcements.
I'm fine. There we go. Oh, no, just kidding. Got it.
So we're going to go into more depth on this on training. But as senators, you guys are actually representatives of your constituents, the organization, and this university. And if any media organization on campus or off requests to interview you, you're to ask the executive board in advance. We need to make sure that the media has permission from our marketing department to interview you. As a student, you do have the right to your opinion, but as an organization, we have to make sure that we are on the same page and communicate the correct information, especially on major topics. Administration may also have a statement they want shared, and if you are uncertain about a topic or question, feel free to let the individual know that you will get back to them and ask our advisor for advice. So this is something that's coming in. You can be interviewed, but you need to ask the executive board in advance.
What if they're not interviewing us in our capacity as a senator, like say we're the president of X organization, they want to interview us about something that organization is doing? We still have to come to the executive board.
If it doesn't, then
it's not at all related to the SGA, then we have to ask.
I would say that if it's not in your capacity as a senator or related to an issue that you cover as a senator, then that is just you as a student.
Okay, good.
Just know that anything that you say as a student still reflects on your position as a senator.
But the media group should still have permission now.
Senator Bill?
Just a local organization in my college, SNAPA, the Student National Pharmacists Association, is hosting an event at the University Center. It's this Friday from 11:30 to 1:30. It's about suicide awareness prevention. And so if you know anybody or want some information, please come out, tag them in Facebook. They've got a Facebook page, they've got a Twitter page. So just come out and be supportive.
I have two announcements. Can I get them? Okay. So first thing we did, it was brought up about the interfaith room. I should have done this in old business, but I'll just give you all a recap as an announcement. So the interfaith room was something that we endorsed unanimously as a Senate last semester. It was brought to us by the president of the MSA, and she just brought her concerns, and we as a Senate took the initiative to go ahead and get that endorsed on campus. Like Josh said, it's being held up right now at the Space Committee because it is a room that would need to be available all day. But like he said, it's just going to be kind of up to us to be pushing the Space Committee to still make that happen, because we do. And also, as Josh said, if that's an issue that we no longer want to endorse, then that is an option as well. But as of right now, it is endorsed and it is waiting on the Space Committee. The next thing is just like an apology for the confusion with the Robert's Rules of Order. Just bear with me next week at our training session. We're going to be going over that so that there's not like a lot of I don't know what to do or what to say or if I should second this or if I should not. So we're going to go over it in a lot of depth. And to the senators that have been senators previously, I don't want you to get too stuck in your ways because we might be doing things a little bit differently this semester, like Savannah was saying about how we just second things really fast. Probably going to be doing motions and that kind of thing a little bit different. So just keep an open mind and be ready to learn about Robert's Rules of Order next week. That's all.
Any other announcements?
I just want to remind everybody on SGAC that I will be emailing y'all tonight because I want everybody to show up tomorrow because we have stuff to do.
Those people are Senator Bell, Senator Florek, Senator Parrish, Senator Dukes, and Senator Jobe. Just for a refresher.
Any other announcements? Secretary McDaniel, will you please commence second roll call?
President Zimmelman?
Here.
Vice President Seeley?
Here.
Treasurer McLeod?
Here.
Parliamentarian Hicken?
Here.
Senator Bell?
Here.
Senator Camarillo? Senator Catherwood? Senator Chaston? Senator Copeland? Senator Dukes?
Here.
Senator Farouk? She's
Here.
Senator Freshour?
Here.
Senator Golden? Senator Jackson?
Here.
Senator Jacobs?
Here.
Senator Drawad?
Here.
Joe? Senator Johnson? Senator Lunsford?
Here.
Senator Meek? Senator Morrison?
Here.
Senator Nagarajan?
Here.
Senator Odesi? Senator Parrish?
Here.
Senator Rivera? Senator Schwab? Senator Shaka? Senator Somerville? Senator Sweetland? And Senator Wackler.
All right. You guys are adjourned.
Okay.
Uh,
How do I end?
The verification forms that were passed out to you to the beginning, please give those to me.